This conference will now be recorded.
Hey, all you crypto boomers. We are back this week with George and Paul and Bud. Well, Bud, kinda. Bud is, I believe, in a bunker somewhere in the Antarctica and trying to get some signal so that he can pop on and tell us what he's finding up there, if he finds Santa Claus or anything like that. So
Or
maybe he'll,
Bigfoot.
yeah,
Bigfoot.
or
I'm
yes,
going for
that's
Bigfoot.
That's right. Bigfoot could be. So, Bud, if you can hear us, I see you're logged in. So just pop in anytime you want. But before we get started, guys, um, the marker for today is Wednesday, August 11th. Freaking 11 days gone in August already.
Wow.
2021. And before we get started, go ahead and click the bell and the like and the share and all the buttons. Look at the links down below for the bitcoinacademy.io and also for Caleb and Brown. And without any further delay, George, how the heck you been, man?
I have been good. I like people say I'm busy and I'm kind of busy, but I'm kind of not. I kind of caught up with getting the bitcoinacademy.io out, and that, in a way kind of burned me out because it was a lot of work. Um,
Oh,
and I'm like coming back and I'm ready to hit the ground running. And if you are on the bitcoinacademy.io, you've seen that I've put out more tech videos just kind of randomly, and that's my goal, to really kind of inform people, so that you don't have to go down deep diving into this, some of this stuff. Because I know, Paul, you're like, yeah, that's not going to happen because I'm way too busy with my other stuff. So I'm hoping to get the top level, and if people want to dive a little bit deeper, then they can pick and choose, and they don't have to sit there and do all tech stuff. But one of the things that I wanted to cover today, because we've said it in the past, was, and I'm not going to get too down deep in the weeds of the poly network exploit, because it's still trying to be figured out, and getting some more information. But what we've learned is that when you are on certain DeFi platforms and you give your coins to someone else for yield, when you give your coins to someone else, whether it's yield, no yield, or something else, and you don't have the keys, you don't own those coins. And that is something that people have to be aware of. And it's not just DeFi platforms, it is exchanges. If you don't
mm,
hold the keys, you don't own your coins. And talking to people, and just some of the uncomfortableness or some of the freak out that's been happening, the last month, people are saying, well, I don't want to hold my coins. I want to send them to Caleb and Brown, or I'm going to send them to this exchange because, when I sell them. And I just want to remind everybody, if you don't hold your keys, you don't hold your coins. And so
that's right.
really be aware of that. And it's something that we've said time and time again. And these people that have lost their coins, it's because they put it in a platform that was not holding their keys. So if you want yield, you still run the risk at this point in time. And I am not technical enough to look at, not that they'd even give me code or whatever, to see if other platforms can be exploited. One thing, and I'm trying to confirm this, but when you stake in your wallet, like Theta, like T-Fuel, your coins are still in your wallet. You're just delegating them
Mm-hmm.
to another platform or computer. And so they never really leave your wallet, as compared to some of the DeFi where you're giving those coins for yield. Like, you're putting money in the bank and it's not your money anymore. Um, so just be careful out there. But one good thing, and this is a story that's unfolding as we speak, but supposedly, oh, go ahead. you know, the hacker is starting to send the stolen coins back. If you look at you know, this address, which was the Poly network exploit address, you can see that there are some changes. There's been a lot, like the wrapped ETH earlier this morning, you know, there were millions in it. And so things are changing. And so they are sent, whoever they, he, she, it, you know, are sending coins. Now the article on Zero Hedge and all over the place says that they're sending them back. There's no way for me to verify that this is the right address for you know, sending the coins back, but it looks like the majority of coins right now are out except for USDC. But these numbers were very different earlier. In fact, I'll take you to view all real quick, and we'll go to the first part of the exploit. And you know, 80, wouldn't you love to see that end up in your wallet? You know, 85 million, or sorry, yeah, 85 million in USDC, and then 108. And so this is where they were grabbed, you know, 25 hours ago. SHIB, you know, 24 million. And, you know, so this is where they grabbed it and threw it into this wallet. And now, you know, whether or not he's having remorse, he, she, it is having remorse, and they don't want to spend too much time behind bars, but, you know, they are returning the coins. If they're returning the coins to the correct address, that's what the news said. But I just want, you know, everybody to be aware, if you do not hold your coins, if you don't hold your keys, you don't hold your coins.
Yeah, 100%.
How many times have I said that, Paul?
Oh my gosh. Well, thank goodness, because, you know, people are still doing it. We beat this into the ground, and people are still doing that very thing, leaving their coins on exchanges and not using hardware wallets and cold storage. And you know, if it's one thing if it's $5,000 and you're not too worried about it, it's entirely different if, number one, 5,000 is all you got to your name and that's what you got invested. You're taking a chance of losing it. Okay, you are taking a chance of losing it. There's no guarantee, and we're not just talking about Coinbase and Binance and Bittrex and KuCoin and all that. We're talking about Caleb and Brown too. You know, we trust Caleb and Brown to do the transactions for us that we want them to do. But at the same time, do you leave your stuff on Caleb and Brown?
Nope. I mean, leave it for like 24 hours, and then it's like, okay, it's off. Because, you know, the thing that is kind of crazy, and, you know, not that it's going to happen, but it's a possibility. You know, the Chinese government took over Bliss.com, and Bliss held a bunch of people's IOST. Now, when a government goes in and says, this is what we're going to do, you can't do much. Like,
no, they got guns, you don't.
Yeah, they have lots of them.
They got bigger guns. You know, that's the whole point to it. And not only that, you're sitting here in your basement or in your office or whatever, and you find out, what are you going to do? Let's say it's $100,000. You're going to spend $250,000 on investigators and people to go after it. You reach a point where it's just lost money. You lose.
Exactly. And, you know, I would love to hear from anybody, because you can contact us through this. I guess you have an email. I have talked to probably about 5 different people over the years that have had their coins hacked, and they said that they were going to go hire a group that says that they can get their coins back. Every time I've heard that, I've said, hey, when you get your coins back, let me know. I've never heard from anybody. But so I put it out there. If someone, what I should have said was, if they get their coins back or they don't get their coins back, let me know. So if anybody has hired someone and gotten their coins back, I'd love to hear it, because I've never heard of a successful retrieval of coins. It's just people saying, we can get your coins. So, okay, Paul, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Actually, George, I'm here online. And
hey, bud.
can you hear me okay?
We can.
We got
Yeah.
you.
So
We said
so
you sound pretty good for being in a bunker in the Antarctica.
I yeah, I don't even think that's safe now. Hey, anyway. But George, isn't it ironic that we put this pulse chain module together, and one of the things we were covering is the worries about polymatic network and the risks of it. And one of the benefits of pulse chain at the time was kind of addressing some of the issues on the bridge
Yeah.
of the polymatic network. As a test, I've had a few $100s on the poly network. I haven't really looked into it as much as you have. Is everything gone on the poly network?
No, it really just depends on, well, there's so much to it. It was selective. And so really it's not everything, because you got to remember the poly network, there are other networks connected. And that's part of doing the research on what was affected, because NEO, August 9th, they started the process of moving from NEO 2.0 to 3.0, and you have to convert your coins. And they were using the poly network. And so they've halted that and said, okay, we're gonna see what's going on. We're gonna, investigate a little bit. We're gonna wait until a patch is there. And so, just to go on a little bit about NEO, we had talked about it at the bitcoinacademy.io about, we are going to convert, and you need to convert from 2.0 coins to 3.0 coins. But wait, don't do it in the early phase, which started August 9th, because when you go from 2 to 3, you can't go back. So right now, if people converted, we'll see how long it takes a company like NEO to make sure that the poly network is safe to use again. So, there's a lot to look at, and there's not a lot of detailed information that I was able to find last night, and I did do a little bit of research this morning, but it was playing catch up on some of the others. So, I'm kind of surprised that the hacker, she, it, are giving the coins back. So that's kind of a rare thing, but we'll see.
Yeah, the reason I asked is putting that pulse chain module together, it seemed like really appropriate to do a deep dive on the Binance Smart Chain, but also the Polymatic. And so that I did actually do the bridge on the Poly, and I did have assets on there, only just play money, pizza money. But it was a good network. I mean, like the fees were astonishing. When you were doing any kind of token exchanges on their version of Uniswap, which I think I used SushiSwap or 1inch or one of those decentralized exchanges. But it was in the fraction of the pennies. It was incredible. So because of that, I know they attracted a lot of money, because people are sick and tired of paying the $100 plus to do a trade on Ethereum through Uniswap. And so there was a lot of trading, and in fact, they've become very successful, certainly Binance Smart Chain. So it's not I don't think the community is their fault for trusting Poly, but it's just that extra layer of risk. If you want lower fees, there is, again, something to pay for that, a risk to take into account to get those lower fees. And so the point I'm trying to make here is that for all the crypto boomers, when you see something that's quite compelling, remember there's always trade-offs between security and cost of transaction.
Yep. And it'll be interesting to see, because I've heard conflicting things. Like there was first talk about admin keys being an issue, and then not admin keys, and people are saying, no, that's not what really happened. And so, this is so fresh. I mean, it's literally just over 24 hours where this started to happen, that we don't know what the exploit was for sure. I mean, there's guesses and that type of thing. So it'll be interesting to see what comes out of this. And maybe it's going to wake everybody up And since the guy's giving it back, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to put on my tinfoil hat. Was it a false flag just to get things kind of stirred up in a way? Because, you know, this is a big enough exploit, money-wise, that it's going to force many chains, many platforms to look at what they have in place. Because if you're not going to look at it after this, then, you know, you're in big trouble, because this is a wake-up call for everybody.
Right.
Sorry, Paul, do you mind if I make one more point?
No, please, go ahead. Absolutely.
What is incredible to me is that we're here with George, who is probably the world's leading crypto tech guy, and I didn't hear it from you, George. I actually heard it from my own wife, who sent me the news saying, "Have you heard about this hack?" Now, I never get anything from my wife there, so this is hitting the mainstream. And immediately, what I was thinking is, are they going to be using this news? This is a very, you know, $600 million was the news article from the BBC. It's a massive heist. So are they going to be using this news to say, hey, we need to put more regulation on this? This is just not trusting. It's not trustworthy, this crypto.
But that's conspiracy theory. They wouldn't do something like that, not a false flag to then, take things in. No.
That never happens.
But
is that sarcasm?
As sarcastic as I could get. And I would agree, because we've kind of heard that, little birds chirping about that, and it does not surprise me. Look at the bill trying to go through, Congress, more regulations. So not surprised. And I think it's just funny that this is such a huge money value, and now they're giving it back. Well, your wife knew about it probably before I did, since you're on that side of the world.
That's a very old trick to create.
Well, I haven't told her yet. We've lost our pizza money.
Well, check. Maybe you haven't.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah,
Sorry, Paul.
No, you're fine. No, you're fine. How about the rest of the market? As far as we're dealing with the majority of the people that listen to us here are boomers that have gotten into the market over the past 6-8 months. So a lot of them, I'd say the majority of them, probably aren't even in this particular coin or exposed to this situation. And so, which is good, because obviously, if you're just getting into cryptos, that's not where you want to go. There's plenty of other top projects that you need to be into. Not saying to get it now. Obviously, I would not suggest buying Bitcoin at this point, but the whole point, or let's just say that the three of us aren't buying Bitcoin right now. I think Bud talks about telling crypto boomers, friends don't let friends buy Bitcoin at $60,000. Well, I think we're back in the area where friends don't let friends buy Bitcoin at 46.6. Not that it's not going to go on up, but the X factor just probably is not there compared to some other coins, right, guys?
Oh yeah, I would agree with that.
So
I'm not sure. I'm tempted to buy.
Tempted to buy Bitcoin right here.
When you, well, only because I'm kind of mindful of like all these other positions that we have, and we're seeing a really good run in Cardano. It's so nice to see that shooting up. And we obviously have targets on that. But one of the strategies, is to trim a little bit off of those other cryptos and go back into Bitcoin, and then flip flop from Bitcoin back into others. I'd wish I did a bit more of that, but I mean, we know where Bitcoin is heading, right? It's kind of going higher. So I wouldn't say so much friends don't let friends buy Bitcoin at 45,000, but certainly it's a lot nicer when you were buying it at 3,500, right? With George and Jay.
Yeah, for sure. for sure.
Oh, if I would have known then what I know now.
Well, and I like the target on Cardano at 7 times your money right here, as opposed to the target on Bitcoin at 2 or 3 times your money here. So, you know, the point being is that there are some of these coins that are just now getting started. Another one's XLM, for crying out loud. I think XLM's down in the 30 cent range, that have a long way to go if they're going to reach the targets that Jay has put together. And by the way, I've never seen Jay miss a target. Timing wise has been off occasionally, but the target itself, I've never seen him miss one. The epic call for me was Ethereum Classic at 150. Oh, yeah. I mean, that was just epic. And there are many others, but you know, there's still a lot of meat on the bone when it comes to several of these projects, and Jay goes through all of those targets. As a matter of fact, he just updated some targets yesterday. I was just getting ready to go through that video this morning, and holy cow, some of these targets are exciting. Do you guys have one that you want me to pull up and look at? Do you have any of them that you're excited about before we close this out?
Well, you know, one thing that Jay, it's funny because this one for me came out of the blue and I did not act upon it because I was not thinking or aware. But Sia coin, you know, Sia coin popped back in March, and all of a sudden Jay was like, yep, I got my number and I'm out. I'm like, oh, wait, I didn't even think Sia was going to be able to pop back then. So, you know, you do have to pay attention because the target was reached and I did not have my coins ready and sold then. So, yep, I would agree with you, Paul. The timing is so hard for everybody, but he gets his target.
Well, another one that he talked about,
yeah.
just started the video, was Casper, and boy, it has had a huge move. You can see PPT's had a big move and then pulled back, and now it's on its way up. But I think mentioned Cardano. I mean, Cardano is looking fantastic here. So what were you going to say, Bud?
Yeah, one of the strategies, like, I mean, I use this, and other crypto boomers can certainly use it. There's nothing wrong with taking a little bit off the table when it goes up. So back in February, I remember taking about 25% of my Cardano off at $1.40, which it had a pop back then with the rally. Do you know what that did for my psychology? It was great because I could get to buy a little bit more back recently, get my position back. And the thing is really, I mean, let's just be kind of like say it as it is. Cardano has gone sideways for 6 months. And this is a big position for me because Jay had us buying that at 3 cents and under. It's been tough. It's been tough to hold. The first couple of years were really tough to hold that, but I held through. I had a wobble when it reached 12 cents. And I thought, well, wouldn't it be nice to take a little bit off? And thank goodness I didn't, because it carried on up and up and up and up. And I took that 25% off at about $1.40. And crypto, just, isn't it strange how it can kind of have this race up really, really quickly and then go sideways, down and up and sideways and be boring for 6 months. And then it starts again.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, one of the things I was going to ask you, Paul. Sorry, I was just going to ask Paul. Like, I mean, you sounded like. I mean, do you think any of us are in disbelief that what cryptos can do, because we've been through the ringer with, you know, the recent downturn and the sideways movement?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think it's just psychology. You know, I think it is difficult. I'll just use PPT for instance. It's difficult to know what that target is and know where it's at right here, and not just be a little bit, man, I hope it makes it there, but I don't know if it's going to. Does that make sense? It's one of those where I think it can, yes, but is it going to? I just don't know. You know, the granddaddy of them all, like our video last week, we talked about Bitcoin shines on crypto. You know, we got to have Bitcoin, you know, break out and go up for the other ones. I guess we don't have to, but typically for it to pull all these other ones up there. But I mean, do you have one in your mind where we know the target and you go, golly, how is it going to get there?
Hedera hash graph.
Yeah, Hedera, yes, that's one for sure. How about you, George?
You know, I was thinking there are a couple, but like you know, FLM. I mean, that seems like that's quite a move.
Yeah.
To
How about
Jay's.
SHIB?
Yeah, like that one
SHIB.
probably the most.
Dude, if SHIB gets even half of where it's deemed to be going, and that's a project that the more I read about it, the more excited I am about it. That's a pretty neat deal. But anyway, if it gets half of the target, oh my goodness, folks, that's going to be. I'm going to be thrilled. I'll just say this: I'm not going to own the majority of my SHIB at the target that Jay's got for it.
I would agree with you, Paul. I'm going to sell on the way up.
But it is an exciting time, and to Bud's point, you know, it's crypto, you know, and it's one of those things where it lulls you to sleep, and then all of a sudden, bam, you know, it wakes you up out of a comfortable slumber, and then all of a sudden you're on a ride. It's like a roller coaster that you're just about to go over the precipice, and it's a wild ride. So
it really
Paul,
is.
Paul, it's really funny that you're talking about roller coasters when I have just come off about 5 roller coasters and feeling a bit queasy. And
no kidding.
I'm thinking that's nothing compared to what the crypto markets put us through, and what crypto boomers really do need to just have in the back of their mind is are they ready for the roller coaster that is crypto?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't think we could say it any better than that. Are we ready for the roller coaster that is crypto? Because it'll well, I mean, we talked about it in April. You know, we had come out of a bear market, and in April we were all looking at our portfolios, and by June they were cut in half. You know, even for those of us that have been trained and have been with Jay for years, that's still a challenge to go through. It's still a challenge to watch. And I don't know about you guys, but I just decided I'm not even going to look at my portfolio for a while.
Yep.
Same here, Paul.
It's too much of a mind screw. So anyway, I know George has got an appointment to help somebody here in about 5 minutes. So either one of you have anything that you want to talk about to finish up?
Well, and just to let everybody know, the Genesis block was, I think it was 2 days ago, 12 years ago, when the Genesis block for Bitcoin appeared in this universe. And that the first time I heard about Bitcoin was 25 cents. And I thought, there's no way. How could someone hold on to something that you couldn't hold, like gold and silver? How wrong was I? I would love to have put 5 grand into Bitcoin at 25 cents. So when you look at the history, and then I remember when I got into Bitcoin at first, Litecoin, it was 5 cents. I'm like, why would I want to buy Litecoin? So just because we can't imagine it, doesn't mean it's not going to happen.
That's a great point. That is a great point. Let me just do the math here so I can make you feel good. That's just around $1 billion if you'd have put $5,000 in at 25 cents.
Is it a pretty good return?
That's not
That
bad.
is pretty good. Yeah.
That's not bad. I mean, the rule of 7 is 7% doubles in 10 years. Let's say it's,
Well, thank goodness you didn't put it in, George.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? I would have, I probably would have had an island someplace, and we still would have been friends. But
well, let's put it this way: you wouldn't
No,
still
but I
own
can.
it. You wouldn't still own it.
You would be
anyway.
You would be like 100 years old, like looking, because you'd have been
oh my goodness, yeah,
12 years of through the sucker punches. Yeah.
Yeah, and I probably would have, like, I had a friend who like, it hit 1400. He's like, you got to sell it. I'm like, why would I sell it? But I probably would have sold quite a bit at $1,400.
Yeah, or you'd be like, I wonder where that old laptop is that I put those 20,000 Bitcoins on.
Exactly. I think it's in the dump. Oh my gosh, I need to go excavate.
That'd make you sick.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, been a good chat. I'm hoping next week maybe we can get Jay on. I got to talk to him and see if possibly we can get him on and interview him. But until next time, just remember, everybody, it is not just about investing. It's about creating wealth. Keep your eye on the prize. Talk to you later.